Hello again. Good morning. Just showing you that I finally caught up on my own stitch along. I finally caught up. So everything that should be done is done. Can you even believe it? So good. All right. So today we're going to do a repeat of a different stitch, but we're going to do it as an outline. And it's going to be for these two big leaves here. And the reason that I'm doing it twice is because this one for stem stitch is super, super easy because you don't have any tight corners. You don't have anything to like look out for or like avoid or anything like that. Whereas on the Monstera leaves, there's a lot of tight corners. There's a lot of small stitches, but it looks absolutely incredible when you're finished. So I'm just going to get a smaller size needle. You don't have to, but I just find that with 2 strands, it's a little bit easier for me to stitch with. And I want to get a lighter color than this one. You can choose a darker color if you want. I'm going to choose a lighter color. Just go in the middle. And I had one picked out, and now I can't find it. That's not light enough. Maybe this one. Maybe one with a bit more yellow in it. Just pick one, Tori. It's fine. Okay, I'll just pick this one. Yeah, I'll just pick this one. Okay, so I'm picking 2, 4, 0, and I'm just gonna do 2 strands. Just 2. And what we're gonna do with the stem stitch is we're going to outline all these little bits right down the middle, and then we'll do the stem stitch, or you can do a split stitch. It depends on how you want it to look for the stems in the same light color that we've chosen. Now for outlines, I like to do a little bit less than I normally would. So normally I like 3 or 6 strands, really. I find that sorry. I find that it's easier to work with 3 or 6, depending on what I'm doing, obviously, because if I'm doing thread painting, then I'm doing 1. But for an outline, especially with stem stitch, I'm going to do a little bit less because 1, of the tight corners, and 2, the circles here in the curves, you really want to get right in there. So I'm basically going to tell you all of my tips and tricks for stem stitching to outline awkward shapes. So let's zoom in. I'll do this one here first. I'll move on to that one, maybe, because it does take a bit of time, but we'll see. Okay, so we're going to come up exactly the same way as we always do with stem stitch. And guys, I'm not, like, it's the needle, all right? I'm not doing anything rude. I wouldn't have even thought that, except the other day I was doing that to try to find the hole, and David was like, have you got a problem? I was like, well, what are you talking about? And he's like, do you need the toilet? And I was like, what? It's literally my needle. So if you don't remember, stem stitch is where you go over a little bit, and you come back up in the middle of these two. So right in the middle of where you came up and where you went down, you're going to come up. And you're always going to put your loop or your hump on the part that goes out. So those are kind of the 2 things that you need to remember. And in some time, like for this one, sometimes it will be out that way and sometimes it will be in this way. So you might have to change it depending on where you are. Now, the bigger the curve, the bigger your stitches can be. And the smaller the curve, the smaller your stitches need to be. So I'm only using 2 strands. I can already tell I probably could have used 3, but I'm gonna stick with 2 because of this inside bit. So I'm gonna keep on going all the way to the tip and then do the little half stitch for the tip, the point right here. So this part is pretty easy. It's just stem stitch like normal. Yeah. Okay. Now how we start stem stitch is that we come up here and we go down over, but we've just gone down here at the point. So obviously we have to come up in a different way. So the trick for this is to come up over here and then down at the point and then up in the middle of those two. And you can continue on as normal. And like I said before, the tighter or smaller the curve, the smaller your stitches need to be. So normally you would have the same size stitches all the way through your project, yeah, with stem stitch. They're pretty much all the same size, they should be. But with a corner like this and how it's so tight and so small, you're gonna make your stitches a lot smaller so that we can keep the curve like that. Because otherwise it tends to get a bit boxy. So your stem stitches, they kind of turn into like straight lines on the corner if you're not careful. So we just want to keep doing those small stitches. You could also do split stitch for this if you wanted to have it not like a twisty way. If you wanted to have it a bit more textured, you could do a split stitch for it. I just do like the stem stitch, so that's what I picked. Plus, I think it's really great for, I'm telling you, I think I just repeat the same things over and over and over when I'm doing these, but I think it's so great for outlining. So if you ever think like, oh, that plant looks really good, but I think it needs something else, try stem stitch outline because that might be the one thing that you needed for it to kind of like pop, you know? And the other thing is when you do an outline with a dark color, all of the stitches tend to kind of blend together to make a straight line. But when you do it with a back stitch, when you do an outline with a lighter color with a back stitch, you can see every single stitch. So that's also kind of something to think about, that if you really want to outline something with a lighter color, maybe choose a stitch that you can't see every stitch, because if you make a small mistake, like if your stitches aren't exactly the same length or, you can really see it. So it gets to be a bit like nerve-wracking. Get out of there, purple guy. So there we go. I do know this is one that will take a while, so that's why we're just going to do probably just one today. And then you can always do more later in the week if you need to. Plus, it's kind of mindless, this one. You just have to remember the trick for the corners and to do the shapes. Sorry, I was reading a comment. Meg says, that's why I loved whipped back stitch, to cover up inconsistent stitches. Yes. So So this is like my go-to when I have to outline something after the fact, like after I've already filled it. So I only tend to do whipped backstitch if there's nothing else in the way, because it is such a pain when you have to avoid all the other stitches. It really like slows you down, you know? So if it's like just by itself, like I've only just started and I'm like, oh, maybe I should whip these back stitches, then I'll do it. But I would never do whipped backstitch on this. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying I wouldn't, because it would just take me so long. Don't forget to make your stitches smaller for the curves. So there we go. That's pretty much it for today. We'll do the middle down here, and we'll also do the little things that go in each of the sections, the little like veins of the plant. I will keep going. I'm not trying to ditch you, I promise. But I just noticed a couple people have joined, so I thought I would just recap. Do a little recap. Yeah, like I said earlier, though, I think I probably could have gotten away with three strands on this. It would have been a little bit of a thicker outline. But that's okay. You live and you learn. And I made the mistake so that if you want to add another one to make it 3 strands, you totally can. Normally on the weekends we shop at Aldi because it's like, one, it's right by our house. So like it's really quick, and like we know exactly what they have there. So there's no like, I wonder if they have this, or I wonder if they're going to have that. Like they normally have everything that we make dinners with, if you know what I mean. Because sometimes Aldi can be a little bit hit and miss. You can't really go in there with like a set list unless you know everything they have. Anyways, our Aldi is getting refurbished because they're just putting a little at the end of our street. And it's going to open in April or May, I think. So they've just built a brand new building there. And they're asking for people to go and work there. And they're doing little interviews and stuff. And they're like putting all the parking things up. So exciting, because I could literally walk there. To be fair, I could walk to Aldi as well. But I think it's like 1.5 miles away, so it's not so far, but the little is literally at the end of my street. And so this weekend we had to go to the other little because, like I said, our Aldi is closed for refurbishment. And we were so lost because we were like, we don't know what they have there. We don't know what to have for dinner because we don't know what they're actually going to have. So like, how can we make a list if we don't know what's there? But I got cherry tart for my breakfast this morning, so that's what I ate. All right, so I've just done the half there. This half has no outline. This half has an outline. So you can kind of see like what you like better, you know? And let's do the one down the middle. I wonder if this is how I got my cut, if I got it on these screws or something. I have no idea. Maybe I like hit myself with a needle, like I scratched myself. David and I were ranking all of the grocery stores. So first we did we live such exciting lives, you guys. But we were ranking them in terms of like most posh to least posh. And then also like personal, what we think is like the best to the worst, like value for money and like selection and like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we need to find a hobby, don't we? I love this line down the middle. I think it's so cute. And it really like makes it pop a little bit, you know? Okay, and then like I said, we'll do, Stitches by Meg said, what was the ranked list? So we said, okay, real quick, we're also going to do these little bits in here, and you're going to do it exactly the same way. You're just going to come up here, and you're going to have to make it up a little bit because we've covered the lines. But again, there's no like right or wrong way. Just make sure that you try and go straight down into the threads, because if you come on an angle, you'll pull them apart like that. So let's see here. So you're just gonna make up your own little line. Nope, nope, nope. And then you can stop wherever you would like to stop. Do you know what I mean? If you want to make it go all the way to the point, you can. I normally don't have mine actually touch the point. Most of the time I have it just end like that. Yeah? So it looks like that. And then the other one that I showed before, I also did a outline on, but I haven't done all of the middle leaves. So that's kind of how I want to keep them, like just kind of going out, not necessarily touching the points, but you can have them do however you want, you know? Okay, Meg said, what was the ranked list? So we said, as far as like poshness, we said it was Waitrose, then probably Marks and Spencer, and then we said like Morrison's and Sainsbury's. They're like kind of the same, because we argued that like if you've got a Morrison's close to you, then you'll probably go there. But if you've got a Sainsbury's like close to you, then you'll probably go there. And then I think you said Tesco after that. Or maybe Tesco was before Sainsbury's. Oh, do you know what? I can't remember now. And then we said Lidl. And then Aldi. As far as like poshness. But we quite like Lidl and Aldi, like both of them. So we had to like make a new list. That was like what was our favorites. Because obviously like we shop at Aldi all the time and we love the bakery at Lidl. So we were like, oh, we've got to make a new list. But they're definitely those stores that like you go there for specific things. Do you know what I mean? Are you still in here? What would be your ranked list? Like, what would be your number one? But, like, we love to play these, like, ranking games where we'll be like, oh, who's the best or who's the whatever, or just as something to do. Like, best, like, rank potatoes. Like, is it French fries or chips or, like, steak cut fries or, like... Yeah, I think we need to get a hobby. Yeah. She says, I love ranking things. I'm in Australia, so I don't have most of the names that you had. Oh, bummer. You can still rank them, though, if you wanted, like your own ones. Yeah, we love doing that. Like, we had a big discussion about, like I said, potatoes. Because, like, is it potato chips or crisps or fries or jacket potatoes or potato croquettes or jacket potatoes, baked potatoes, or some of the other ones? Oh, waffle cut fries, you know, the ones that are like this. Waffle fries. And that was quite a gas up. Because I'm talking French fries like the skinny, like the kind that you get at McDonald's, you know? Like those would be called like French fries here, and like chips would be like a thicker chips. And then American chips are crisps here. So first we had a chat of what would you pick? And then after we said, we were like, wait, do you mean like potato chips, or like do you mean like chip shop chips, or do you mean like thick cut state fries, or do you, like, what are you talking about? I should probably stop here, but everyone who watches this later is going to be like, oh my God, what is happening? Why is she talking about this? If you're watching this later, I think I'm going to find the ranking. I found it before. Someone made like a bracket, like you know, those like football brackets or like basketball brackets that you get where it's like a lot on the edges and then they like boil down to like the number one winner. Oh, I'm going to put like it in my stories and make a questionnaire. I'm also going to do a what stitch is this questionnaire in my stories. Maybe not today, but I think that would be so fun. Because you guys should know so many by now. So we're doing what's the best potato? And we're doing what do you know what stitch it is? Guess the stitch. Maybe best potatoes. Stitches by Meg says, of best supermarkets or best potatoes? I feel like best potatoes would be a little better because everybody eats potatoes, right? Whereas best supermarkets, like not everyone has the same ones, like you said. If we could get people to like submit all the names of the supermarkets, then maybe we could do a supermarket one too. But I feel like people could get into some fights over potatoes, you know? Because people are like either die hard this or die hard that. Like everybody has a favorite potato. Like, Tori, what else do you love other than stitching? Food? Just talked about supermarkets and potatoes for like 25 minutes. I'm losing followers by the second, I bet. She's crazy. Okay, I'm almost out of thread, and when I get out of thread, then I'm just gonna give up and stop the video because I feel like you guys get it now. You probably got it about 20 minutes ago, to be fair, because we've already done the stitch. But things need a filling in. You know what I mean? We still have a lot of things to fill in, and there's only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days left, because Saturday is just a catch-up day and a giveaway. So there'll still be a video, but we're not actually learning anything new. And to be fair, I think Friday, we're not really learning anything new either. we're using the things that we've already learnt to fill in the rest of the spaces. So yeah, we only have like 4 days. I cannot believe that this month has gone so quickly. Like, I honestly, I can't. I can't. Alrighty. So we have one of them outlined almost all the way. Obviously this one. And we have some little guys in the middle as well. So you can see how it's outlined and how it's not outlined. Hopefully, I mean, you don't have to outline it if you don't want to. Obviously, you can just leave it like this. That's totally up to you. So whatever you choose, I hope you have a lovely Monday. Be sure to go to the Barbie Fox SAL hashtag. Leave some love to other people who are doing the stitch along. It really does mean the world when someone comments or likes a photo. It's literally the best. Even I get like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And I haven't closed the giveaway yet. So if you would like to enter the giveaway, hurry up and tag your mates and tell me your favorite color thread. What color do you like to stitch with? And with that, I will leave you. I will talk with you later on tomorrow. Later on, comma, tomorrow. Not later on tomorrow. All right. That's it for me. I'm done. I'm dead. Have a great day. Bye.